This is going to be a very unique subject, and it's going to be on the next level up of what you've been taught or what you've thought about. And you see the title here. This is going to get a little deep. So before we get started, as your professor here in the Academy of Wildman, let me go ahead and give you a red pill because you are going to need it, Neil. You are going to need it. And I'm taking mine right now. See, I got to take mine with some organic green tea so it can settle well in my body. Natural antioxidants and other nutritional factors. So here we are at the place where I'm talking about Boogie Man now. But I use that title because it's a perfect description of a being that we probably never seen, or we've heard about, or we know about in our mythical books and ideas. But some of them may exist. And some of them may be behind the curtains of your everyday belief systems, or even your ideology or what you worship. I have done my research on several things. I told you before, like voodoo, witchcraft, shamans, ancient temple rituals, ancient belief systems, and the historical development of potions and things like that. No, I don't practice that. It's just for my own knowledge, so I can get a clear vision of how we have been misled. I woke up this morning with the epiphany, with a enlightenment that I never had before. And some of these lessons have came from some of our elders that have preceded us, that have already taught some of these lessons, but they was on the opposite end. They was on the giving end of warning and reprimand and worrying and strifing around the end results of your life and what it means to deal with the dark energies of the world around you. And so I'm going to go ahead and share it to you, give you this free information. And I suppose you could say not everything is free, because all I've ever asked and will always ask is for you to subscribe, to like it so other people can get the message, and do your diligence and check out that book, 2020 America Rise or Fall Hard. And once again, to remind you, 2020 isn't just based on the year. 2020 means 2020 vision. To be able to see based on your vision, your perception, because it is still the same even today. So the book is a past, a present, and the future. But it has been woefully overlooked because people aren't willing to accept the red pill. People don't want to accept reality because we love our cow and cattle sheep-like mentality and programming because we're comfortable, in which I'm not going to get into in this audio because I've described you these conditions before in my others that have been provided for you. Just do your diligence as I will continue to provide you with this knowledge. Now, the first thing I'm going to start off with is the end result of church. That's right. See, a lot of things are based on fear and the end that we haven't met or we may not ever meet. And what a lot of pastors don't know, and what a lot of your preachers and what those in the cathedrals are in the indoctrinated schools that your pastors have to go to, is history. We got to know that a lot of things that have been presented to us have been manipulated before. It has been taught before. It has been overladen before. And now I'm going to give you a personal experience of my own before I get into the Boogie Man. See, when I was a kid, of course, I was brought up around the church sector. And in the churches, they would always teach about what the Bible was all about doing right, not sinning, being born of sin, and being born again in the name of Jester the Crest, and that sort of story. On and on and on and on. These people were so much of a loving genius. They were so smart. They were so creative in their pursuit of Casper the Friendly Ghost. Yeah, I said it. Where they forgot about reality. The amazing thing about it is they were so serious about the Bible. They were so serious about their programming that they forgot one thing, ladies and gentlemen. They forgot to teach me about reality. All the time they was talking about how God's going to take care of your problems, how all you got to do is just pray about it and receive the gift of the Boogie Man. Okay? And everything's going to be all right. But all the while you have wealthy people around your country who's buying land, who's getting large bank loans, who own corporations, who's driving fancy cars, and who own things. And I couldn't figure it out. I could not figure it out as a child, 16 years old and younger and so forth. Like, why are they telling me this? Why are they telling me to just pray about it? Why are they telling me that God's going to take care of everything? But yet I'm broke. I have holes in my shoes. I have hand-me-down shirts and pants. Are y'all listening to me? I'm getting food from the food pantry. I'm going to the store with food stamps as a young kid in order to buy food, not real money. But yet here I am in this church of all these elders, all these so-called grown people. I need y'all to listen to me carefully. All these so-called grown adults, all they knew how to do was throw a Bible in my face, have me sit down on my knees with my face in this nasty, stinky, wooden pew that still smelled like everybody's butt, and invincibly pray to something that is going to solve all my financial, physical, spiritual, and worldly problems. When the real reason that I was there, or anybody will be there, is to learn something. The real reason, listen, is to be fulfilled spiritually, physically, and in your physical world. I had to learn that over time, they wasn't teaching me how to own some stocks. They wasn't teaching me how to be a masculine male. They wasn't helping Morpheus to be a man. They were teaching me how to be submissive, how to be weak, how to be passive, how to pray instead of being active. They were showing me nothing but fear, not confidence, not assertiveness, not what you should do in an interview, or what you should do to become a boss so you can create an interview. What is the best colleges for you to sign up for to provide some documentation to at least help you on your financial journey? It was never anything about that. All it was the gossip of Jester the Crest. That's it. What God can and cannot do, and what God will do and will not do. That's all they ever taught. And of course, being a good shepherd and you being the lamb sort of stories. And as children, what do we know better when we're looking at this pamphlet with this so-called shepherd with colorful clothes on, okay, clean skin, permed hair, and a shepherd's stick among sheep. And they would say, you are the sheep. You are the sheep, and you are to follow the leader. And the leader in this case, of course, is their indoctrination or their services. So this morning when I woke up and I bent over the bed and I'm glaring out the window, I didn't get up as I immediately do. I begin to think about this before going downstairs and starting a pot of warm water, wash my face, brush my teeth. I just sat there and just thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. I thought about how different my life would be if they just told the truth. How different, listen, how different as a young man I would have been able to be not a boy, but a growing masculine male with confidence, with assertiveness, with the ability to create my own businesses, to the ability to own things, the ability not to work for someone else, the ability not to go into a slave plantation and work a 9-to-5 job, the ability to know who I am, when all these elders had to do was tell the damn truth. And not only is it based on their deceptions and their lies that they have put into my innocent mind, but these grown bozos were once upon a time struggling themselves. They were once upon a time my age. These bozos was once upon a time going through puberty themselves. Once upon a time, they had to deal with all the fears and the struggles that I have gone through as a kid. Why didn't they teach me that? Why did they not tell me about life, about what they have experienced? How come they didn't sit me down and tell me about how they survived to be 45, 46, 50 years old? Are you listening to me? Why did they waste my life and my time and others' lives while they were 45 to 50 years old, throwing this book of nonsense down my throat, when they could have been throwing at me the experience of their life, telling me about the roads that could possibly be ahead of me, telling me about what it means to be a man in this new world, what it means to be married? Why didn't they explain to me about their marriage experiences? How come they didn't tell me about what they have experienced in their time when it came to the government or when it came to the society? What happened years ago? Why didn't they create an organization to help me to be preserved and to be, brought up and brought to an advanced mind based on the knowledge that they were supposed to pass on? As an adult, that is what we are generally supposed to do, is pass on our knowledge, pass on facts, not lying, pass on the truth and what you know, not what you want the children to know. That's the difference. They were too busy trying to dogmatically program my mind as to what they wanted me to know, not what I needed to know. I needed to know what their experience was like. But the only results I would get is the adults would say, "Oh, you're not ready to know that yet, son. Just stick to your Bible. Just keep praying about it. And God's going to take care of it and figure it out for you." When, as we know today, there's nothing better than knowledge. There's nothing more gratifying than having a clear vision or at least an understanding of the possibilities, which is why you become a parent, which is why you would be in a position of leadership. It'd be a different story if you are this lackluster parent, lazy bozo, and you're not a minister or a pastor and you don't have no leadership. But it's a totally different game altogether when you call yourself a minister, when you are in the leader seat, when you are a preacher, when you are teaching Sunday school class, then you are tasked to teach the truth. You are tasked to give your experience of life. But instead, they were so dumb. They were so zombie-act. They were so mind-washed and programmed. All they could do is consistently become another Agent Smith to give me an indoctrination that was given to them. Not once did they think outside the box. Not once did they figure out that they themselves have been deceived and doing nothing but destroying the next generation, and namely myself, with their lies and dumbology. And again, one of their major subjects was about fear. It was about what's going to happen in the end when you pass away. Is your soul going to go to heaven, or it's going to go to hell, as what some people talk about and what we know of formidably. But unfortunately, they did not dive into this word called reason and purpose. And what it is not knowing why they are preaching what they're preaching, not knowing why they're talking the way that they're talking. Because most of it, if not all of it, is called fear. Fear of the boogeyman. And what a lot of churches don't understand, and yes, I said it, what a lot of religious people don't understand. I said religious people. I didn't say spiritual. There's a difference between being spiritual and religious. I said religious people don't understand is that the boogeyman has a face. Yes, the boogeyman is real. It is. I said it here and now. The boogeyman is real, and it's not a matter of belief. It's a matter of knowing. But let me tell you what the boogeyman is that the church don't comprehend, because they're raised up from kindergarten. Okay? They're raised in indoctrination, so they don't quite get it. I'm gonna outline them. It's called the scientist. It's called witchcraft. It's called the shaman. It's called voodoo. And it's called magic. That's right. Oh yeah, Morpheus is getting started. You don't forget, you are in the academy of wow men. That's what I do. I give you the wow. Either you love me or you hate me. I don't give a care. Either one. Either you take the red pill or you take the blue pill. That's how I operate. No in-betweens over here. You got me? The one thing that I enjoy, though, is the fact that I'm a star child. Regardless of the deceptions and the pilfering and the delay and the misinformation that was purposely given to me as a child, the miracle is I managed to survive because I have a mission. I have a voice and I have knowledge to give unto the world that may help maybe one or two different people. It's not for everyone. And for those of you who are too busy looking for subscribers, okay, you have your thumb in the wrong area and your mind is stuck up there as well. For those of you who is looking at like, oh, you only have so many subscribers. Oh, you only got so many people who viewed this audio. You got a problem. Because you are stuck right there in the matrix. And you are the type of person who wants to be in the in crowd. You go with what's most popular. You go with what's most new. You go with what's most sought out. And you want to be a part of a group of people in the thousands that they feel like they need to put down a comment so they can act like they're somebody special and you want to be a part of that group. This Academy of Wildman is for Neo. And if you're not Neo, get the hell out. It's not for you. In the front of my door, it says, no sloths allowed. And you're one of them. It's not going to be for the masses because the masses are asses. It's not going to be for everyone because this academy is unique. Years ago, college used to be like that. It was only for an elite class of people. It was only for a special group of people. There's only going to be a special group of people who's going to be around the president. There's only going to be a special group of people who are going to be around prestige or royalty. Everyone isn't royal. Therefore, my academy operates the same. I'm not going to have, and right now, at least I don't think I am, maybe a couple of years from now because of the viewership. But initially, I'm not going to have a lot of viewers because it's not for the whole cattle. It's not for the entire sheep herd. It's for the special ones who are looking to be better than stupid. You got me? That's what it means to be Morpheus. That's what it means to go outside of the Matrix. The Matrix is going to have 1,000 people or thousands of people, if not millions. Those who are going to be free is far and few in between. That's a special situation. And for some of you who don't comprehend because you still didn't graduate from second grade, okay, because you're still looking for somebody to guide you along the way with their noose or their shepherd stick. Okay, that's no different when some automakers, they will create special cars. There are only a certain amount of hypercars or supercars that are made for the entire world. Some of them will actually, you can't go and buy their supercar. They have to give you an invitation to come and buy it. That's right. You got to have they got to call you up and say, well, Mr. Jones, next year, we're going to make this supercar and we want to invite you to buy this car. That is the only way you'll know about it. That's the only way you're going to sign up for this special opportunity or offer. And then there are some supercar makers who will only make maybe 100 for the whole world. Why is this? It makes the car special. That means the car is rare and is only unique for a special group of people. Okay, so if you dumb enough to think because I may have a low subscribership or low following, okay, that my messages aren't important, you're a dummy and you don't comprehend what I just said. No, it's for the very few who thinks outside of the box. And as a matter of fact, there should be reflection on yourself if you're only looking for subscribership. And it should show just how childish you are, and you don't need to be here anyway. I don't need your subscribership. I need those who are serious about living life to the best of their ability, not being around people like you. You live your life in the crowd. That's your problem. I'm looking for people who's living their life outside of the crowd. Now, getting back to the services of the Boogie Man. Have to lay that down for some of you who got a clown face on. The boogeyman is real because it's all about science. It's all about magic is another form of science as well, depending on how you put it together. It's another form of illusion as well. And it's another form of the craft in which the church don't comprehend because they're too much sucking on their thumbs, because they're too much opening up the pieces of paper from their anthropomorphic ideas that was passed on from one dummy to the next. So you have some preachers or you have some spokespeople who consider themselves to be messengers to tell you something like, well, if you don't live a certain life, then bad things will happen to you. Or they will say something like, not only bad things will happen to you, you'll end up in a reprobate mind. God will deny you blessings. God will deny you of heaven and Cursive things will start falling down your life and you will not succeed. They will preach that you're going to be walking around like a zombie. If you turn your back on God, you're an automatic sinner. And God don't like you. God won't claim you into the gates of heaven. Or you're on the path of hell. This is what they preach. Not Morpheus. This is what they preach. They will tell you that no miracles will come into your life. They will tell you that you're going to be on the path of pretty much jumping off the cliff if you have nothing to believe in, if you don't believe in their interpretation. You see what I said? Their interpretation, that's how I'll pronounce it. Get over it. Their interpretation of God or gesture or of any of the sky daddy. And their sky daddies have multiple names. It can be Yahshua. It can be Buddha. Okay. It can be Muhammad. The list goes on. You'll say, oh, Morphe, you stepping on nobody. No, I'm telling you exactly what's out there. Okay. There are multiple others as well because it's not exclusive to one. Okay. It's not limited to one type of group of religious ideology. It goes around your entire globe. Every culture, everyone has an idea of what this sky daddy is and what the rules of life may be, as if there's some sort of rules of life, a book of life. And if you're smart enough, you will realize that life is a series of adjustments. There is no book of life. Life comes at you in multiple ways. There are things that you should and you should not do. That's based on common sense, but we don't have common sense because we want to be guided down the path of light. Now, let me make something clear for you. Some of you who are very sensitive, if you are my subscriber, I thank the sky for you because that means you're not like the rest of them. That means you're open-minded. That means you are the Neo that I expect for you to be. The rest of them who's sensitive, walking around like an automaton who can't handle it. Don't be surprised about them because there's too many of them nowadays anyway. I'll call those people zombies. Okay? This idea about God is going to condemn you because you're not a believer is the most redundant, soft, ridiculous, dumbed down, uneducational, and non-intelligent type of idea that anybody can surmise. As if you are created to be a machine. That's the idea. As if you are created to go down this path that is particularly made for you as a guideline. And here's your evidence. When you are, let me ask yourself this question for a moment. Just slow down for a minute. All right. Ask yourself one question. When you came out of your mother's womb, was there a manual with you? No, it's just as simple as that. Okay. It's that simple. When you came out of your mom's and when you was pulled out of your mother's womb. All right. When you start getting cleaned off and you got the umbilical cord there, right? Was there a manual that popped out of her womb as well? Most of you should say no. I know a couple of you special people are going to say, yes, there is. It's called the Bible. Okay, that's how smart you are. And you need to be somewhere else, like in a psychiatric ward. You need to go call a doctor immediately because you are out of your mind to say some dumb stuff like that. You was born with nothing but your flesh and bones. That's what you was born with. You was born into another human's life. You was born into a program that was to order you, to control you, to tell you what they want you to be, not for what you want yourself to be, because you wasn't yourself. You had no power and control over your destiny at a certain point in your life. Your parents did. Your foster parents did. Those who were your guardian angels or your guardians, they were the ones responsible for your destiny until you got old enough and matured to take control of yourself. You got me? So there was no contract with the heavens. There was no contract with anyone but that person who brought you into existence. And so their fears, their struggles, they pass that on to you as you are going from 6 years old to 12 years old to 16 to 18 and to 20. Only a few people are able to break that umbilical cord of stupidity and start studying and reading the empowerment of themselves and get rid of the lie and realize that the moment you started crying from your mother's womb was the moment you started to become programmed. The moment they took a bottle and put it in your mouth, and for most of you, I am pretty sure it was probably Similac. I'm pretty sure it was probably man-made milk. Let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me break something down here for you. I got some mind-blowing information for you today. You need to hear this right now. I think this is very important for you to know. Let me tell you something about breast milk and nature. Oh, I'm gonna destroy it right here and now. See, your environment, your society, your funny, big nose, I know it all, new age, progressive, I don't see the future people are trying to program you as they done before to tell you that Similac milk, store-bought milk, milk that they pilfer from the ground is better than the milk that the mother is providing from her body. They're not looking at, listen, they're not looking at nature because most people hate nature. They love their science. They hate nature. Okay? There is instincts. There is a spiritual connection. Listen carefully. A spiritual connection between that child and that mom based on her genetic production. See, all they're looking at is, well, you know, in the Similac, it has this much nutrition over here. It got vitamins on here. It got minerals over here. Folic acid. Got blah, 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 blah. They're looking at the vitamin additives that's in that nasty man-made crack in a bottle. That pre-made autism. That pre-made diabetic food. That pre-made Alzheimer's creation, that pre-made deficient food that they put in a can to tell you that it's better than the mom's milk. And you wonder why a lot of these kids are growing up with autism. They're obese. They don't listen no more. They don't pay attention and they have a short attention span. You say, oh, that's just children. No. There was something in their milk because children may have that phase but not as extreme as these bobbleheads that we are producing today. Get the hell out of here with your lies. Let me tell you something. It's not about the nutritional content in the mother's milk. It's about the information of nature's DNA that's out of the reach of humans that is provided from the universe and from her body to give to that child. That's what it's about. It is about the membranes. It's about the other minerals. It's about the other nutrition that her body is providing for that child. It's not about the vitamins. It's about her connection with that child. It's about nature's connection. It's about the instincts. It's about the spiritual energy. It's about her internal data that she is injecting into her child. That's what it's about. Once you disconnect that cord, once that mother decides to take you off of that nipple, you are disconnected from nature, you are disconnected from the universe, and you are put onto the machine when that machine is made from that Similac pre-made crack in the bottle for your child. That's what it's all about. And you got these bozos who want to stand on television or who want to sell this junk to you, which is nothing but legal drugs to your child. And you're dumb enough to go to the store and get it. There's nothing more natural, nothing more healthy, nothing more fulfilling than the nutrition that nature provides from mom to the baby from her natural nipple. If you do otherwise, you are a retardant to life and you are a destructive, cancerous agent, willingly signing up to destroy the next generations. And you see the results today, not by Morpheus's words, but by action. You wonder why we don't learn anything anymore. You wonder why we are de-evolving, not evolving. Because we are producing pre-made robots straight from the womb, connected straight to the machine.